From the North Country's news station, 7 News Tonight starts now.
Tonight on 7 News, it's springtime in the city. The Thompson Park splash pad opens up as a group of volunteers cleans up downtown. Plus, a government watchdog group is sounding the alarm as this year's state budget gap may be higher than expected. But first, Renzi Food Service is selling. We ask what it means for the more than 300 employees here in the North Country. Thank you for joining us tonight. Garrett Domblewski is off this evening. Longtime local food vendor Renzi Food Service is set to be sold. With several hundred employees and a couple thousand customers, 7 News reporter Chad Charette tells us what this means for them, the Watertown facility, and a planned expansion.
Started in 1977, Renzi Food Service has grown to serve 2,300 customers, including schools, hospitals, and restaurants. Now, the family-owned local business is set to be acquired by U.S. Foods. Jean's Beans in Watertown happens to be a customer of both companies.
You know, we're always sorry to see a local independent go, but, you know, because we were with U.S. Foods, I'm pretty happy about it still.
U.S. Foods is a lot larger than Renzi's, serving roughly 250,000 customers, and wants to expand into central and northern New York. This acquisition will do that. Friday's deal means U.S. Foods will have its first distribution plant north of the Thruway, with others in Buffalo and Albany. For the more than 300 employees on Renzi's payroll, a U.S. Foods spokesperson confirmed everyone will keep their jobs. And as for an expansion already happening at the Watertown facility, U.S. Foods will continue with it and could invest more if needed.
Any plan to expand is a good thing for the park. If those things happen, it certainly has a positive impact to the area. I don't think that much is going to change other than change of ownership.
The U.S. Foods spokesperson told us the business will retain the Renzi name for now. After the deal's closed, they'll reevaluate to see if it stays. Chad Charette, 7 News.
A trial in Canton lasts just 1 week, a jury finding William LaFleur guilty of sexual abuse of a child. The St. Lawrence District Attorney's Office says the 55-year-old from Ogdensburg began victimizing the child when they were less than 5 years old, with the abuse lasting for more than 5 years. LaFleur is facing 28 years in prison with sentencing scheduled for July. The call for a fire at 410 Arsenal Street came in just after 6:40 p.m. Watertown City Fire, along with Fort Drum Fire, were on scene. Officials say the fire began in the kitchen, traveling through the wall to the second floor. One individual received burns on their hands. They were taken by Guilfoyle ambulance to Samaritan Medical Center. City Code is condemning the house. 2 adults living there are being assisted by the Red Cross. Investigators are still determining the cause of the fire. Lewis County Health is warning people not to be fooled by a phone call. Hospital officials say patients are getting calls claiming to be from the health system, but they are not. Patients are asked for private Medicare or insurance information, birth dates, even Social Security numbers. Lewis County Health advised not to hand out that information to anyone over the phone. The scammers are spoofing you, making what they appear to be calling from a certain number when they are not. We'll head to the Weather Center now. John, rain coming down a little bit this afternoon. What can we expect over the weekend?
Looks like some rain on the way, Zach, just off to the west, a large area of showers. And we will be dealing with rain later on tonight and for a good chunk of the day tomorrow anyways. Let's check those maps. First weather brought to you by Doors Plus in Adams Center. As you mentioned, we had some rain earlier this evening now. 1 or 2 rain showers over the Tug Hill Plateau. Bulk of the precipitation off to the west. Not for long, though. It's all heading our way. Cloudy and 64 at midnight. Some showers at 6 a.m. Temperatures near 60, and then by noon, rain, a bit of a breeze, clouds, and temperatures in the lower to middle 60s. A little bit of sun on Sunday, so we'll talk about that. We'll also check out next week as well here in a few. Zach, let's send it back to you.
Thank you, John. The White House is weighing in from Japan on the negotiations over the nation's debt ceiling. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that the U.S. could default on its bills as soon as June 1st. CBS News correspondent Willie James Inman reports from Washington.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre held a briefing in Japan as talks in Washington over raising the debt limit stalled and then resumed a few hours later.
We have serious differences And this is going to continue to be a difficult conversation. That's not lost on us. But the president's team is going to continue to work hard towards a reasonable bipartisan solution.
It's just unreasonable.
Earlier, Republicans walked out of the negotiations as budget issues remain a sticking point.
We've got to get movement by the White House.
In exchange for raising the nation's borrowing limit, House Republicans want to impose caps that amount to a 13% cut in government spending.
We have to spend less than we spent the year before. It's pretty easy. What's wrong?
Some Democrats are urging President Biden to consider using the 14th Amendment to go around Republicans.
Using this authority would allow the president and the United States to continue to pay its bills on time and without delay, as the United States Constitution requires.
President Biden will return from Japan on Sunday, cutting his international trip short because of the debt ceiling talks. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
State revenues are down as one watchdog group says that may mean either spending cuts or higher taxes. 7 News reporter Lexi Bruning breaks down why this year's state budget gap may be higher than expected.
New York State's budget revenue is relying on personal income tax, which in turn works into the budget. The problem, this April's tax receipts, the first month of the new fiscal year, are more than $4 billion less than the state budget division estimated.
That could be a hiccup, but it's more likely an indicator that they have radically overestimated how much money the state is going to have to be able to pay for this increased spending.
According to this article written by Empire Center fellow Ken Girardin, budget officials expected personal income tax receipts to fall by 17% April to April, but they actually fell by about 49%. Less revenue equals a larger budget gap.
Instead of seeing another big year like we saw in April 2022, we're seeing a more modest return closer to where we saw before the pandemic.
To balance the gap, Girardin says eventually the state will have to make some tough choices.
Either to reduce those spending increases, if not eliminate them altogether, or to raise taxes.
Assemblyman Scott Gray says he's not surprised about Girardin's findings and says there's a faction of the assembly that would have no issue raising taxes.
They would not think twice about raising taxes on wealthy New Yorkers. They would not think twice about raising taxes on the average New Yorker.
Both Girardin and Gray say if taxes do get raised, especially for the rich, it'll drive more people out of the state.
The concern with doing that is you risk pushing more of those taxpayers who are already living extremely mobile lifestyles out of state.
Before the budget was passed, budget officials indicated a $5.1 billion budget gap for fiscal year 2025. Lexi Bruning, 7 News.
As spring sets in after a mild winter, St. Lawrence County Public Health Department warns of a high risk of ticks. With a high number of insects this year compared to the past 5, we learned from 7 News reporter Sean Brinda why there's more reasons to worry.
When you go out for a summer walk, public health says keep an eye out for ticks.
So far this year, we've had 148 tick-borne illnesses, and that's just what's laboratory confirmed. So there are more out there, they just have not been reported to us.
148 cases from January to April 30th of this year. But it's the previous year's data that shows the story. Ticks are causing trouble for people in St. Lawrence County. In 2018, there were 70 cases of tick-borne illnesses. In 2022, that number jumps to 336.
It's definitely, we're seeing that increase over the last several years, so it's something we need to be a little more vigilant on when we are enjoying the outdoors and just even being out in our own backyards.
Mild winters aren't good when controlling the tick population, and ticks become active even at cool temperatures.
You know, a lot of people think if it's still kind of cool out, they don't have to worry about the ticks. But actually they are active once the temperatures reach around 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
If you're walking on a nice day in the woods or in a park, there could be ticks on you right now. The only reason you don't notice them is because they are very, very small. Ticks are known for being as small as sesame seeds. At this size, they can transfer illnesses such as Lyme disease, anaplasmosis, and babesiosis to you or more likely your pets.
Just because you live in town, do not assume that you're not going to have ticks. because we have the vegetation and we have a lot of deer and wild animals that come in, and when your pets go outside, they can pick up the tick and bring it in. So even if you are not actively outdoors, but you have pets, that can do it too.
Munger says prevention includes staying away from tall grass, cool shady areas, and wear bright colors so you can see the ticks. Sean Brenda, 7 News.
Still to come tonight, Mel's in with your North Country Sports Report.
Hey, Zach, we head to the Diamond for our Athlete of the Week. That story in sports.
Plus, when 7 News continues, it's spring in the city. A cleanup crew downtown, and kids start their weekend and start the season at the splash pad.
From the North Country's news station, you're watching 7 News Tonight with Garrett Domblewski. Tonight's weather with John Kubis. And your North Country sports with Mel Busler.
The winning lotto numbers for this evening, the daily 410 and the win 4 5050. And speaking of winning numbers, a nearly $20,000 winning lottery ticket was sold Thursday in Brownville. The New York Lottery announced the top prize winning Take 5 ticket was purchased at a Stewart shop on West Main Street. The winner has a year to claim the $19,587.50 prize. It's springtime in the city, and downtown Watertown looks a little bit more tidy tonight. This afternoon, volunteers fanned out for a 2-hour mission of picking up trash and even picking a few weeds. The annual cleanup is organized by the Greater Watertown North Country Chamber of Commerce and the Downtown Business Association. This year's annual event is just in time for the opening of the Watertown Farm and Craft Market next week.
It is supposed to be an inspiration as well. So we are out here, we're a small group of people volunteering our time for an afternoon, but we'd like you to engage civically as well.
There should be some noticeable difference. I don't imagine we're going to change the entire world. But, you know, getting people out, getting people seen downtown, that's really the most important part.
Friday's cleanup took place from 2 to 4 p.m. Organizers say they were very pleased with the number of volunteers that showed up to participate. Kids splashed around in Watertown's Thompson Park Friday afternoon, a first for the season. Temperatures may have only made it into the lower 70s, but that and the sunshine gave kids enough nerve to visit the city's splash center. The Thompson Park splash pad is sure to get busier as we get into the summer and hotter temperatures get here. The pad is open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. A student-inspired mural is unveiled Friday at Bashaw Elementary in Cape Vincent. On hand to help, Boston-based artist Brent Bataclan. Going all over the U.S. doing murals, Bataclan helped with this student-led project at Cape Vincent. Bataclan has been giving back to students now for 20 years.
Kids' ideas are better than mine, so that's why I work with them.
The light here, I asked Brent if he could make it yellow since it makes sense, at least for me.
The project received funding from the Cape Vincent Arts Council, the school's parent-teacher organization, and the Thousand Islands Central School District. And finally, a Watertown native headed to the PGA Championship for a day full of fun, left $100 richer. Caleb McGuire and George Labar, both from Watertown, originally made their way to the PGA tournament at Oak Hill in Rochester. McGuire was hit by a golf ball Thursday, shot by pro Joel Dahman. The funny thing is that McGuire says him and Labar tweeted at the tour pro for a photo before attending the PGA. He got the photo and a $100 bill to help pay for what he says is the $17 beers at the tournament. The photo is now going viral on Twitter.
Joel was on the first green, and George is like, you gotta take the $100 bill out of your pocket and ask him to get a picture with it, or no one's gonna believe you. I was all right, let's try to do it. So we did that. So I think that picture really made it go viral.
McGuire says the championship is not taking cash, so he will be depositing the $100 in his bank account for the beers that he bought today. And when we come back, John Kubis is back with your forecast.
Now, tonight's weather.
Kind of mild outside, kind of cloudy out there as well. Let's check the numbers out at the airport. 67 degrees, winds from the south at about 10. Pressure is high, 3001, has been holding steady, will be falling later on tonight and during the day tomorrow as well. 74 the high, 39 the low. As far as the averages, the 30-year normals, we're off in a positive direction both ends. Records 86, set back in 1996. It was a chilly one back in 07. We got down to 31 degrees. Upper 50s already Old Forge, 64 Lowville, and also in Canton. 63 is Messina, and in Ogdensburg too. 65 at Fort Drum, 57 across the border in Kingston. A couple of showers showing up on the map earlier this evening. We had a little bit of rain. Now you can probably count on one hand all the showers showing up in the North Country. Notice off to the west, more organized rain heading our way. That line of showers along and ahead of a cold front. And the front will cool us back a bit over the next couple of days. But more importantly, it'll give us some much needed moisture. It's been kind of dry, and we'll take all the precipitation we can get this weekend because next week, looking dry once again. As far as the futurecast overnight, there you see some showers moving on through. Temperatures not falling back too much. Tomorrow morning will be in the mid to upper 50s. It's a lower 60s. Bit of a southerly breeze as well. Notice all the clouds and the precipitation passing on by. I think we'll see more in the way of rain than this forecast model is showing. And notice by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, more of moderate downpours passing on by, as denoted by those yellows and oranges on your television screen. As far as your lows tonight, I'm thinking in the mid to upper 50s, a bit of a breeze from the south. Some clouds and also some showers as well. Tomorrow, showers likely throughout the day. Highs anywhere from 61 in Clayton to near 70 in Philly, and also for you in Carthage. In Lewis County overnight, showers, some clouds, a bit of a southerly wind. Your lows in the lower to mid 50s tomorrow, cloudy with showers. Mid 60s in Barnes Corners, right at 70 for your high in Lowville. St. Lawrence County overnight, clouds, some showers, lows 50s across the county tomorrow. Showers are likely, highs anywhere from 70 in Wanakina to 67 for you in Ogdensburg and 71 in Potsdam. Risk of showers on Sunday for a couple of hours during the afternoon, but I think the bulk of the day should be dry. Highs in the upper 60s, lows in the low 40s. Monday a bit cooler, but a whole lot of sun. Highs in the mid 60s, lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looking dry. Some passing clouds, highs in the 70s and lows right around 50. Have a great weekend. Coming up next, Mel has sports. Stay tuned.
Now your North Country sports.
Time for your Toyota Sports Report. The Frontier League postseason underway with a couple of softball finals. Rob Crone is in to sort out all the highlights.
At the Alex Duffy Fairgrounds, Watertown hosted Indian River for the Frontier League A Division Tournament title. Top one, Indian River takes the lead. Katie Call laces a base hit to left field. Both Victoria Noon and Audrey Carrion score 2-0 Indian River. Bottom one, Watertown answers. Peyton McConnell singles to left. Montana Evans crosses, cutting the Indian River lead to 3-1. Top two, 3-2 Indian River. Call doubles to left. Jasmine Acevedo scores 4-2 Lady Warriors. Bottom two, 5-2 Indian River. Evans rips a base hit to left. Alex Hawthorne scores. Indian River beats Watertown 18-15 to win the A Division tournament title. In Copenhagen, Sackett's Harbor squared off against Alexandria for the Frontier League D Division title. This game of pitchers duel, Alexandria starter Bridget Watson was stellar, allowing just 2 hits on the day. Sackett's Harbor starter Natalie Gibbons was equal to the task, allowing just 5 hits and striking out 3. Kendall Brisbort would drive in 2 runs for the Lady Patriots, and that would be enough for Gibbons as Sackett's Harbor nips Alexandria 2-1 to win the Frontier League D Division Championship.
Well, it feels pretty good because, as you said, these teams are so close that every single game was a 1-run game, and we were fortunate enough to get this one today.
It felt pretty good because last year we did lose in the championship, but this year we really wanted it just as bad as we did last year, but we were able to execute a lot better than we did last year.
Rob Crone, 7 News Sports.
Tonight's local scoreboard's brought to you by Kraft 836 Canteen on Coffeen Street in Watertown, featuring crafted specialty pizzas, shareable appetizers, desserts, and sandwiches. For great food to go or eat in, it's Kraft 836 Canteen. High school baseball Frontier League D Division semifinals. Belleville Henderson defeats Alexandria. Lima winner over Copenhagen. Elsewhere, Malone nips Messina. Carthage a winner over Governor. High school softball Frontier League A Division Final. Indian River defeats Watertown. D Division Final. Sackett's Harbor nips Alexandria. Elsewhere, General Brown outlasts Holland Patton. Canton shuts out Potsdam. Boys High School lacrosse, West Hill over General Brown. New Hartford defeats Watertown. Elsewhere, it was Indian River over VVS. And Salmon River defeats Canton. Girls High School lacrosse, General Brown over Cazenovia. Indian River downs New Hartford. Canton a winner over Potsdam. High school golf, Potsdam defeats Salmon River. Governor over Clifton Fine. Canton downs Malone. Norfolk defeats Madrid-Waddington. And it was Lyme, a winner over South Louis. Well, this week we honor a baseball player from Carthage who has battled through injury to post some impressive numbers. His skill on the diamond earning him the Watertown Savings Bank 7 News North Country Athlete of the Week Award. Alex Munno of Carthage receives this week's honor. This talented pitcher has compiled a 4-0 mark, all complete games. He has a 1.35 earned run average. In 31 innings pitched, he's walked only 3 batters while striking out 33. He's doing all this with a torn labrum that will require surgery after the season. At the plate, he's batting .385 with 19 RBIs. A talented student athlete.
Battling the injury at the beginning of the season, not knowing for sure if I would be able to help my team out on the mound. I'm definitely happy with the 4 complete games so far. Hopefully going to get another one Monday. And yeah, no, I'm definitely proud of myself and my team for playing defense behind me. Knowing that I'm injured is definitely a mind thing. It's a mental battle every time I'm on the mound. My thing is, instead of being able to throw my fastball by kids, I'm actually having to pitch. I'm having to change arm plots, throw more than 2-3 pitches. I'm having to go around barrels instead of go through them. So it's definitely an adjustment, but I think me personally, I'm making it, and as a team, we're playing the defense that need to be played when I can't throw by kids. People overlook the mental part of baseball as a game a lot. It's definitely a struggle to think about the next pitch and how it's going to go down, where the swing is, where I'm going to place the pitch, especially when I know I can't throw it by them with the weakness that I have as of right now. I don't think it really set in until I got injured that I am not ready to put the ball down. I'm definitely going down to Brockport. That's where I'm going for crime analysis. And I'm going to be attempting to walk on there, play some, I think it's Division III baseball, and see where life takes me. If not, club baseball is always an option. I'm just not prepared to put the ball down yet.
Yeah, Alex is one of the, the members that were the COVID group, when they were sophomores. Alex, pitching is always his thing, and he always finds the groove of the game when he's on the mound. The beginning of the year, he has a torn labrum, so he does have surgery in June. But he was shut down and wasn't allowed to pitch. We got off to a slow start, and then we got the news that he was cleared to pitch. What he's done is he hasn't had the overpowering fastball that he's had in the past, throwing as hard, but he's gotten super creative. He's changing arm angles. He actually drops down to a sidearm. He changes his timing, so he's gotten super crafty, and it's been successful.
Congratulations to Alex Munno of Carthage, the Watertown Savings Bank 7 News North Country Athlete of the Week. Oh, it was a great night on area ranges of the Northern Tier Trap League. Here's Trap Scores individual results, courtesy of Herringer's Contracting, the roof people who call you back. You say hello, they say hello, 315-782-9129. All the scores compiled by the temptress of Trap, the lovely Gina Worth. Checking team results from last night, there you see the 6 matchups from last night. And as we go to 25 straight, we had 18 that were perfect last night. There are the first 5 right there, followed by the second 5. 5 and 5 is 10. How about 15? Huh? And 3 more to boot. Makes it 18. 50 straight, you see them right there. We had 7 that have been perfect for 2 straight weeks. And the last 3 right there. That's it. That's all I've got. Yeah. Zach Grady after this timeout.